my name is Bhav and we're back on another episode of Dress Better, Live Better. Today we're at a very special occasion, a Studio 54 themed party hosted by the incredible Marty Thomas. He is an amazing fashion influencer and model, breaking the conventional rule of modeling. It's not just for young people, and I love to see that. I love to see how he styles things. His style is very different to what you would usually see in Australia, and it's something that brings me so much inspiration. There are certain things that Marty does that I've brought into my own closet, such as wearing more scarves, wearing more accessories, more rings, nice sunglasses and things like that. So I'll let the man speak now. How do you feel today?
I feel great, Bhav. Thank you for spending time with me. I guess the whole idea of Studio 54 for me is about a good feeling. I was around at the time of Studio 54, but I feel like nightlife can become very monochrome. And Studio 54, that era was a time where people could express themselves very fully. I think we need more of that color and that freedom of expression that has been constrained for so long. I like to dance. I like to sing along to the music. With disco and house, I feel like you can enter into the spirit of the thing and become part of it in the way that they did in the 70s and 80s.
I think any art form you can express yourself, and fashion is one of those art forms. Music and fashion are intertwined very closely and very closely related. I love to be part of the nightlife scene in Sydney because connecting those two industries are integral to move forward the fashion scene. And the Studio 54 theme is very close to my heart, even though I wasn't alive when it happened in America. But to bring it back now, I think is better than ever. I guess so. But it's just amazing to see this. And I have 3 questions I would like to ask you specifically. My first question for you is, Studio 54 was synonymous with fearless self-expression. How has fashion helped you tell your own story and stand out in today's world?
Fashion, in many ways, starts with what we put on the outside, and then what we put on the outside is an expression of who we are, what's on the inside, and for me that's always been the case. So I'm a very colourful person. I love life. I like to seize the moment. I love the colour and the richness of the moments that come our life. So when I go out, I like to have that freedom to be who I want to be. I am a rule breaker or a rule bender. Maybe I'm a fashion criminal.
Yes.
But I feel like the monochrome program doesn't do anything for me. I like to stand out. I could be called a bit of a peacock. Not always, but when I choose to go out and enjoy myself and to express myself, I want to feel free to do so. Tonight, it's a Studio 54 party. I'm wearing a silk robe, a vintage shirt. I'm wearing a lot of jewelry, more than I would walking to the store. But it's an occasion. We need to embrace precious moments in our lives, whether it's a night out, whether it's with friends, with family. And I want to feel free to dress as I choose, which I do.
I don't think you ever dress conventionally, but I just love seeing your style. I love seeing all of your outfits. It's so out of the box, and I think it's very similar to my style, but obviously very different. You like to be outside the box. You like to break the barriers. You like to do things very differently. Do you think that being a model, sometimes you have to stay inside the box, or do you think there's a fine line, or how do you tackle that problem?
In the past, I think modeling was much more constrained. You had to be a certain height, a certain weight, a certain look. It's much freer now, and that is a good thing. I feel like my early life was quite regimented, quite straight up and down. I wore a uniform to school. There were a lot of rules. When the opportunity came and I grew up and I was my own person, I chose to put that aside, and I think that's why I enjoy the freedom to dress as I choose. I think it has a lot to do with who I am now. Our past has a lot to do with who we are, in a good way.
The second question I would like to ask you is, Studio 54 was a haven for breaking fashion rules. What do you think modern fashion can learn from that fearless style of that era?
I think we can learn a lot from that era because we now, in the 2020s, are very regimented. There's a lot of compliance, there's a lot of risk management. And in the 70s, you'd have, I'm on shaky ground here, I know, but you know, I drove in cars. We had no seat belts. We had the dog in the car running around. The kids went out and played in the mud. If we're going to live with confidence, we can't be constrained by so many rules these days. It's all about being compliant, what you can do, what you can't do. And that doesn't encourage the human spirit. We need freedom. We need freedom of expression. We need to be able to be ourselves, because otherwise we become
like everyone else.
Yes.
We all become like everyone else. There's no more art in the world, no freedom, no creative expression, and we need these things to push society further.
Well, the irony of it all is that we are all individuals, every single one of us. We are ourselves. We have we may not be artists, we may not be creative people, but we all have our individuality, and the ability to express that is so precious. I don't push my style on others, but I want to feel free to be who I am. Those that love it will come to me, those that don't will not. But the more color, the more fun, the more culture, the more richness we can have in our lives. That is what makes our lives what they are. Otherwise, we become part of a system where we lose our individuality.
I think so, and that's why I love fashion, because when you see someone, you can see their personality almost instantly, right?
Instantly, I think so. People are intuitive, no judgment. The person in the suit, the person in the uniform, they all have their place. But when we go out to enjoy ourselves and when we go out to share in a social situation, I think it's important to have some freedom in terms of how we choose to dress.
That's a very good answer. I love that answer. I think people like you and I, we're helping shift that idea, especially in places like Australia, where people don't really dress up, such as events like this or just day to day. I've traveled the world, I've seen it like day to day in other countries. People in places like Milan or Paris, they're just going to the groceries.
Recently traveling in Asia.
I was just in Asia, and I went to Korea, and Korea was amazing. Every outfit I saw there was just like, wow. And
I saw you in this crazy robe at one time. Yes.
I wore the traditional clothing of Korea, and I loved it. I just felt so free, and all the Korean people wanted to take photos with me, and I felt kind of like a star. It was like
Well, you are a star, Bhav, but I mean, it's all about perspective. It depends on your situation, your platform, as to whether you stand out or not. But it was lovely seeing you in that national costume. I thought so many cultures in the world have so much color and detail and richness in their dress. And should we not be able to bring some of that into our lives here if we choose to?
I think in places like Korea, style and music and art form is seen as the upper echelon of society. It's seen as something that should be looked up upon, and you see it in their idol culture with all these K-pop stars wearing crazy outfits. Their hair is amazing, different colors, and the accessories are on point. The dancing, there's just so much art. In places like Australia, I wish there was more art and more expression. I think that you and I in Australia were bringing that towards the forefront.
I totally agree. I truly appreciate the freedom I have to be myself. I've come out of a more constrained background, and it's wonderful to have the freedom to have my own style, to wear what I choose. Always with respect, always with grace, always with an understanding of the situation. Our soul, it's our individuality, and that is precious.
My final question for you is, how does an event like this, with this iconic Studio 54 energy, inspire your outlook on style and creativity?
I'm not encouraging the decadence of that era, because I know that the 70s, and particularly Studio 54, were incredibly decadent. But I do feel like we need more color and richness and freedom to be ourselves, and we need a more colorful nightlife. And Studio 54 for me was just a nod to the things that I love, the music, the melody. I like to sing along, I love to dance, and there's no age restriction on it.
In Australia, when we go to clubs or bars, it's seen as okay to wear casual outfits, not to dress up, to be very relaxed and laid back, because we have a lot of beaches here, etc., etc. And my brother just came from Queensland. He lives in Queensland with his wife and 2 sons. He's here for the weekend. He was telling me they get into the clubs and bars with just shorts, with thongs. I was like, okay, you can't do that in Sydney, but even in Sydney, it's still very laid back, but at least it's not that laid back. I just went out with him last night, actually, and he had to wear some of my clothes because he didn't bring anything to wear to a club or a bar. He was looking around and he's like, this is so different, everyone's very stylish. I had a very different opinion, but it's very interesting, like different parts of Australia have these different dress codes, but I still wish that in places like Paris, Milan, London, Amsterdam, Berlin, everyone you would see in the nightclub, you would just see people immaculately dressed. They put a lot of effort into how they dress. I think events like this, where there's a Studio 54 theme, is really important to bring that back, that idea of dressing up for a really nice night out with your friends, having a nice dance. I think there should be more events like that in Sydney and Australia in general.
No judgment here, and it depends on the setting, absolutely, but I think that it's about respect and honouring the situations. I often see a beautifully dressed woman with a man who hasn't necessarily made an effort, and no judgment there. But it's going to be so much better if both parties make an effort. And I lived in Italy for many years, where the Italians just love to dress up. It's a cultural thing, and it makes life grand. And I think we need life to be grander, more colourful, more fun.
We do. And thank you so much for inviting us today, having us here at this party and hosting it. It's been an amazing time. Thank you so much, Marty.
Great talking to you.
Thank you. This is Dress Better, Live Better, and I'm here today with Eloise at a Studio 54 themed party hosted by the incredible Marty Thomas. How do you feel today, Eloise?
Fabulous, babe. How do you feel?
I feel amazing. It's good to see so many well-dressed people out and about.
We're kind of matching in our sparkles, huh?
We are matching, actually.
Yeah, we coordinated.
I do want to ask you 3 questions.
Sure.
So my first question today is, Studio 54 was all about bold looks and individuality. What inspired your outfit tonight, and how does it reflect your personality?
Actually, Cher inspired my outfit tonight. Cher always had killer outfits. She really owned her look. She was really confident.
Very bold.
Yeah, and like all about empowerment and just owning who she was. I love that.
That's very much you.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, except she has a bit more balls than me. I need to get some more balls. Yeah.
Fair enough. I love the outfit. I think it's amazing from head to toe, and the bag as well. Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, it was gold, right? I had to put some gold in there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you got the eye makeup as well. I don't know even what that's called, but it looks amazing.
Thank you. They're Diamontes.
Okay, Diamontes, amazing. So for the second question, if you could step back in time and attend a real Studio 54 party, what would your dream outfit be?
Ooh.
You could wear anything you want.
I think I'd wear like that metal, that glow mesh metal material.
Yeah.
And just wear that. Or I just paint my body gold. That's it.
I love that. It's 2 very different options, actually.
So I know, but I just have like a real like disco, like just, go girl. You know what I mean?
I think I would love that silver one for sure.
Yeah.
And the last question, what's one style risk that you've taken that's paid off, and how did it change the way you view fashion?
Just generally, I don't really dress modestly for a curvy body. I dress obviously not modestly. And I think that works in my favor.
I think it does. It shows that you're confident with your body, and it also helps inspire a lot of people that are in your position as well, with the same body type. And I love to see in 2024 we're seeing more of that, especially in fashion. We just came from a fashion show actually, and we saw a diverse range of body types, and it was good to see.
It's all on designers. When the designers start showing and start creating clothes for different body shapes, that's when society starts to move with it.
Exactly, because there's not only one body type in the world, like how it used to be seen.
Fashion.
We can all enjoy fashion. Thanks for being on the show today, and
Thank you, baby.
I hope we have a great night tonight.
Let's go do it.
This is Dress Better, Live Better, and today I'm with the creative soul Nick, and we're here today at Marty Thomas's Studio 54 themed party at Tatler. Nick is a photographer, videographer, actor, dancer. He's a man of many talents. And I want to ask him a couple questions today. So Nick, how are you feeling?
Yeah, great. Elated. Tonight is a good night. We put this on to try to revitalize a bit of the quarter of King's Cross, which includes Darling High, Potts Point. It's had a few knocks and bad turns over the years, and Marty has wanted to just host a Studio 54 party for a number of years. He's spoken to me about this a lot. And here we are, finally. Yeah, it's going well.
Let's dive into the questions now. So we'll start with question 1. Studio 54 was all about bold looks and individuality. What inspired your outfit tonight, and how does it reflect your personality?
I'm wearing a tux.
Yes.
I'm on purpose not doing up the bow tie. I'm wearing a cummerbund, nice shoes. It's reflective of the, I suppose, in the 70s, the end of the 70s, Studio 54 feeling of women were much more elaborate in their clothing than men were. It was either one end of the spectrum that you are Elton John, or you want to go to the party and you want to look elegant. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, but I'm also sort of doing a nod to the co-founder, Steve Rubell. That's why I've got the crazy wig on, because this is what I look like normally. I haven't got any hair, which it's not very 70s. So I thought I'd buy a little wig to make myself look a bit more crazy like Steve Rubell did in the 70s. Coupled with a nice elegant look, we're going out to a club to have a fabulous time with a bit of gold, and it is Christmas time. So there you go. That's my influence.
I love the wig and the brooch. It's a really good combination.
Thank you.
And the accessories make the outfit amazing. I like the golden touch here as well.
Yeah.
It looks
A bit of gold jewelry.
I think
Too much.
I think the outfit's a hit.
Thank you.
Standout outfit of the night, and I love it. I think it captures the whole element of Studio 54 perfectly.
Yeah, good. What do you think, Marty? What do you think of my outfit? Not talking about yours.
Okay, I think it has taste. I think it's on theme. It's subtle. It's elegant. There's a touch of gold. It's not over the top. The wig,
I think it's charming.
Good effort. We'll give you a 4 out of 5.
I think so. 4 out of 5.
Okay.
That's a solid outfit. Right there.
How about now?
5 out of 5. Easy 5 out of 5. All right, let's go into the second question. The second question is, if you could step back in time and attend a real Studio 54 party, what would your dream outfit be? You can wear anything you want.
I'm wearing mostly black tonight, so I suppose a standout image of Studio 54. I wish I was there. I wasn't born in the 60s or 70s. I was born in the 80s, so it's kind of on the cusp of memory, you know? But a standout memory was always whoever trotted in on a white horse. I forget who that was, but I suppose the inspiration there would be I'd want to wear all white, classically, elegantly all white. Don't know how exactly I would pull that off, but all white on a white horse.
That would be awesome. I think that's the best answer we had so far for that question. Let's go into the final question. What's one style risk that you've taken that paid off, and how did it change the way you view fashion?
When I was a kid, my mom used to dress me in waistcoats, because in the early 90s that was the fashion. Somehow, I don't know how, but in the same vein, I suppose, a polo neck, like a turtleneck. I've never really worn a turtleneck before. I've worn many a waistcoat because of my mother. But as an adult, I've never really worn a turtleneck because I've always thought it was a bit silly, I suppose, until recently. And I guess in the modern age of old money style or whatever, I have worn a turtleneck or a polo neck or whatever you want to call it.
And how was it?
I wore it with a nicely tailored suit, and it changed my vision of style because I actually felt good. And I thought I'd feel stupid wearing a turtleneck, but I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, damn! I honestly thought, wow, actually that suits me.
So I mean, you can never know if something doesn't suit you until you try it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I thought it would be stupid and it wasn't.
Thank you for having us today, and amazing party. Thank you both for putting this on for us, and I think we need more of this in Sydney.
Yeah, we do, 100%.
More in Australia of just dressing up, going out, having a dance with your friends, talking about it, spreading it with the rest of the world. I think it's a cool thing.
You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
Look at this. Cheers, Chris.
Thank you very much, Chris. Chris Stockley.